In part one, we met the girl from Dry Hill. We heard about poverty, the struggle to read, and the teacher who changed everything. This week, the career she built from the ground up and all the successes and challenges in the chapters in between. Here's part two of my interview with Dr. Euphemia Burke-Robinson. I'm Archibald Gordon. This is Profile. Welcome to Profile, part two now of my conversation with Dr. Euphemia Sophia Burke-Robinson. She is Education Officer at the Ministry of Education, Jamaica, and is also President of the Jamaica Association of Education Officers, just two of the roles that she has served. And she is author of Most Improved Student in the Classroom of Life. And last week, we talked about, the roots, her growing up in Dry Hill, in St. Catherine, and then the movement, just the journey, the people who raised her, what the community was like, and then that turning point of being declared Most Improved Student, and what that meant in terms of her improvement going on to pass the common entrance exam and then going to Old Harbour High. Just a quick reflection before we continue on that system there. You've called it a stream system, stream system, right, where the intention is for certain students to do better, for all the students to do better in a sense. Right. But then you have, in the case of Old Harbour High at the point, you had 7 special. 7 special. So the intentions were good, because 7 special really is supposed to be a remediatory. Concentrate certain sorts of skills, right? Right. You understand these children need help. Right. So let's help them. And so they're placed there so that they can get some intense instructions. But just the idea that you are in that class, because I had that experience when I was at primary school. We were always in Group C, and so everybody knew. Now, if I was asked which group you are in, I wouldn't say Group C. And then it was a lot of pressure on us who were in 7-1, because you are always made aware that there's somebody who wants your spot. So you had to work hard to maintain it. But you didn't relinquish your spot at all at Old Harbour High School. No. In fact, not just that, but then going on now to getting the kinds of grades that would allow you entry into to Michael. Yes. So while at Old Harbour High School, I did well. I got my CXCs, and that was something that I took back to Garden Hill, as a bragging right, as a deliverable to the person. No, you said me I forgot though. I did it. I did it. And so I often say that in Jamaica, you use links. My mother's link were the principal of the school. So when I did my CXC, I went back to the links, and I was offered a teaching post right there at the Garden Hill Primary School. So I met again my grade 6 teacher. She was my supervisor at the time. So I went in the teaching system as a pre-trained teacher. And I got a class, and Mrs. Rule, she was my mentor. She made sure that she marked up my lesson plans every week. When I submitted it, I couldn't find my words because she rewrote the plans. And then she would stand beside my class and ensure that I got it right as it relates to pedagogy. So by the time they were finished with molding me for those 2 years of pre-trained teaching, I was ready now, Archibald, to enter into the Michael Teachers College at the time. So you're at a little bit of an advantage, because you're going to learn pedagogy, or the sort of study of teaching. Yes. Of teaching. Yes. But you've learned some of that on the job, unlike others. You haven't learned it out of a book. I didn't. And so by the time I got there, I consider myself a mature teacher. And so when we had anything to do in class, like presentation, that it was right up my street.
And so I was a little bit ahead of the curve when I got to Teachers College, because I went there with experience. I went there with some skills of writing lesson plans. I went there with how to manage time as an instructor. I went there with skills of how to do discipline, you know, classroom discipline.
Because you had real children, you're not thinking about this.
I'm not thinking about this. I have lived it, and now I get a chance now to see the theory part of it. So that for me gave me an edge in my study at the Michael College.
So out of the, and listen to her say it, by the way, because it's called the Michael, which is a thing.
Yes.
I mean, if people think high schools are competitive, let me tell you something. If people think high schools are competitive, teachers' colleges, you don't want to hear them. You don't want to hear them. So the Michael, which by the way is the first of its kind, by the way.
Yes.
The first of its kind, which is why Michael graduates are also so proud.
With a lofty history. How it is that when we walk through the halls there, I often say that we had what we call General Assembly every Monday morning. And every Monday morning they would invite a Miconian to talk with us, but they never brought back a teacher. They were always teachers who have transitioned into here and there, but they were immaculate individuals who they exposed us to. And so there you get a chance to see and to aspire, to say, wow, you know, you are acquiring this kind of skill.
This is where I can go. You can see yourself.
You can see yourself in different spaces.
How are you balancing all of the challenges, though, not just of being at the college level, at the university level?
So
this is money.
This is money.
Other people's idleness.
Yes.
Staying focused, not being distracted.
Can I tell you, what was advantageous for me at the time is that I benefited from study leave. So I was still being paid as a teacher while I was accessing education at the Michael College. So that solved a part of the financial challenges, because my parents certainly wouldn't have the money. By this time, my father would have deceased, and my mother was still, you know, the person who was the backbone behind us still. By this time, she was very steeped into how it is that she was an economist, you know. But something happened along the way, Archie, while I got to, so this is me now, you know, would have passed some hurdles and was on my way. And then I got to Teachers College, and in the first year, Archibald, I got pregnant.
All right, so that's a story all by itself.
All by itself.
So we're going to take our first break in part 2 of my interview with Dr. Euphemia Sophia Burke-Robinson, and we'll be back to tell you that story and that impact after these messages.